The diner went silent when the door swung open. Standing there in torn sneakers and a faded pink hoodie was a little girl, maybe 9, her face streaked with tears, one hand gripping a blood-stained teddy bear. "Please," she whispered to the row of leather-clad men at the counter. "Please kill my stepdad." Forks froze midair. Coffee dripped from a pot onto the floor. The biggest of the bikers, a man called Hawk, turned slowly, eyes narrowing beneath a scarred brow. No one laughed. No one moved. Because everyone in that diner could see it. This kid wasn't lying. Something in her eyes said she'd already seen hell. And that's when the Black Talons Motorcycle Club stood up in unison. Engines roared outside. Justice was about to ride. The girl's name was Emily Carter. Her mother, Sarah, worked 2 jobs, waitress by day, cleaner by night, ever since her husband died in an accident 5 years ago. When Rick, the stepfather, came into their lives, he promised stability. Instead, he brought bruises, shouting, and fear. Emily stopped talking at school. Teachers noticed, but no one acted fast enough. And last night, things went too far. Rick had thrown Sarah into a wall, breaking her ribs, right in front of her daughter. Emily ran out into the night, barefoot and crying, until she saw the faint glow of motorcycles outside a roadside diner. She didn't know who they were. She just knew they looked strong, like men who could stop monsters. And that's how a little girl walked into Hawk's world, a world of patched leather, old scars, and unspoken rules. Hawk knelt in front of her, his massive frame lowering to her eye level. He didn't say a word, just handed her his bandana to wipe her tears. When she whispered what happened, his fists clenched so tight the knuckles went white. "Where's your mom now?" he asked. "At home. She can't move. He said if she calls anyone, he'll finish her." The room went still. Hawk looked around at his brothers, Diesel, the road captain, Ghost, the quiet medic, and Bear, the enforcer. They all nodded. No debate, no vote. This wasn't about club business. This was about doing what's right. But Hawk hesitated. He'd been down this road before. Once, he'd stepped in too late to save someone he loved. He still carried that ghost on every ride. Not tonight. Not this time. He stood up, tossed a few bills on the counter and growled, "Mount up!" Engines thundered to life, shaking the walls of the diner. Somewhere in the distance, a storm rolled in. But tonight, the storm had leather and chrome. Rain slicked the streets as the Black Talons rode through the sleeping town. 12 bikes, lights off, engines rumbling low like thunder beneath the clouds. They stopped at the edge of a crumbling neighborhood. Emily pointed to a small house with the porch light flickering. Through a cracked window, they could see Rick pacing, beer in hand, shouting at someone on the floor. Sarah. Hawk took a deep breath. This wasn't a raid. This was a rescue. Ghost, with me. Diesel, watch the back. Bear, you stay with the kid. They moved silently, boots splashing in puddles, leather coats gleaming under flashes of lightning. The screen door creaked as Hawk stepped inside. The smell of beer, blood, and fear hit him all at once. Rick turned, smirking. "Who the hell are you?" Hawk's voice was low, calm but deadly. "The last man you'll ever threaten." Rick laughed, staggering forward, swinging the bottle in his hand. "You think you can scare me? You're just some biker trash." Hawk didn't flinch. Ghost knelt beside Sarah, checking her pulse, whispering, "You're safe now, ma'am." Rick tried to shove Hawk, but the biker didn't move an inch. Instead, he leaned close and said softly, "Real men don't hit women. Real men protect them." Rick swung, a clumsy punch born of alcohol and rage. Hawk caught his wrist midair. The sound of bones cracking filled the room. Rick screamed, collapsing to his knees, but Hawk didn't hit him again. He didn't need to. He just pointed toward the door. "Walk out of this house. You go to the cops, you turn yourself in, or you'll see us again." Rick spat blood, trembling. "You can't tell me what to—" Diesel kicked open the back door, flashing a camera phone. "Already did. Whole thing's on video. Cops will have it in 5. Rick's face went pale. Hawk stepped aside. "Run, Rick, but don't ever come back." After the police took Rick away, the house fell quiet. Sarah sobbed softly, clutching Emily in her arms. "Why would you help us?" she whispered. Hawk looked at the little girl, her small hand gripping her mom's sleeve, and something in his chest cracked open. He pulled a faded photo from his wallet. A young girl, maybe 7, with bright eyes and a missing front tooth. My daughter, he said quietly. She was taken from me a long time ago. Different story. Same kind of monster. The room went silent. Ghost put a hand on Hawk's shoulder. Diesel looked away. Hawk continued, couldn't save her then, but maybe tonight. I made it right. Sarah reached out, trembling, and said, You did. Outside, thunder rolled across the horizon, but for the first time, it felt peaceful. The storm had passed. The next morning, the story spread through town. Police reports confirmed Rick's arrest, multiple charges, years overdue. But what no one mentioned was how he was caught. No one dared to speak about the leather-clad ghosts who showed up when no one else did. The black talons disappeared before dawn, leaving only tire marks on wet asphalt and a folded note on Sarah's doorstep. It read, You're safe now. Raise her strong. Tell her there are still good men in the dark. A week later, Sarah reopened the diner. And every Sunday morning she kept a pot of coffee ready. Sometimes a group of bikers would pull in quietly, sit by the window, and watch Emily laugh as she helped her mom serve pancakes. They never said a word. They didn't have to, because justice doesn't always wear a badge. Sometimes it rides a Harley. Months passed. Emily grew stronger, louder, braver, more alive. She started calling Hawk Uncle H, and one day, as she handed him a slice of pie, she said softly, You saved us. Hawk smiled beneath his beard. No, sweetheart. You saved yourself. We just showed up. Outside, engines rumbled once more, the sound of a Brotherhood fading into the wind. The camera pans out, from the diner to the road, to the horizon painted gold by morning light. Narrator's voice fades in. They looked like outlaws, but they rode like angels. And sometimes, the scariest men are the ones who save you. Subscribe for more biker justice stories.